You're listening to the Quint's podcast. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much pain are you in? Ever been asked this question? Has a doctor or someone you know asked you to describe your pain? And when you do manage to fit the vague and excruciating sensation into one of 10 digits, had them dismissed? This is the invisible lives of those living with chronic pain. Hello everyone, I'm Anushka from Quint Fit, and today we're speaking with Anubha, Pooja, and Swati, three chronic pain warriors who are here to share with us their stories of living with pain and prejudice. To begin with, can you tell us about the time your pain first began and your journey towards diagnosis?
Hi, my name is Dr. Anubha Mahajan. I am a dentist and the founder of Chronic Pain India. I live with pain 24/7. It's a chronic neurological condition. It happened because of a medical negligence where a doctor put a plaster on my left leg, which was not needed because I had an ankle injury, and the plaster was too tight, which led to a nerve injury.
I might have experienced fibromyalgia pain for the first time years ago when I was a teenager in Shimla, but it kept getting diagnosed wrongly and being attributed to depression and a lot of other things. So it was a long, long journey till the day I got a proper diagnosis, and that took many years. It took almost 2 decades to diagnose this correctly after going to many doctors.
I first started having pain in different parts of my body when I was working in the corporate legal sector. So the pain started with back and neck, and slowly spread to other places like arms and legs. And in the beginning, I went to a lot of doctors, and they gave different reasons, from you need to lose weight to you need to correct your posture, and it's just because of the amount of work that I was doing and the stress from it. Finally, an orthopedic said there's nothing in MRI because of which there is a physical reason for you to have this pain. And after that, I decided to go to a neurologist. So that's how I got my diagnosis. And I came to know that I have a chronic illness.
And how has your experience with medical professionals in general been through all of this?
So, medical professionals, I feel, still do not want to kind of chart this murky territory of chronic illnesses and chronic pain. Now, when I went to the neurologist, he sent me to do a test, which was a very painful test. It's called a nerve conduction test, in which they send electric signals throughout your body. And they didn't tell me what the test would entail, and I went alone because I was living away from my family in the city. So he said that you have fibromyalgia, and when I asked him what it is and what could be the treatment plan for it, he basically told me to go and Google my symptoms. And he was not ready to take on a patient who has chronic pain and who has an illness like mine, because that would entail not having a fixed clear line of treatment and would take a lot of hard work to help with pain management and treatment. So that was my journey towards diagnosis, and that's the kind of apathy I felt. I was really scared and torn because I was 20 something, living in a city alone in a highly stressful job with pain across my body. And this doctor was telling me to just go and Google it and not ready to provide any treatment. In my experience, all of them tend to overprescribe or underprescribe, in the sense either they will not believe you at all, or they will just load you with a tons of medicines. It's been some years since I've tried seeking medical help specifically for fibromyalgia.
When something is not visible,
it's sometimes beyond the understanding of general public, and when it comes to chronic pain, it's a reality fact. If you see a person who has a plaster or an injury that is visible and the person says that I am in pain, people would believe that person. But if the same person has no injury and is stating the same thing, they're going to say you're fooling us.
Like you said, chronic pain is invisible and it can be difficult to make people around you understand what you're going through and how much pain you're in. So, how challenging is this for someone living with CP?
There is a huge lack of awareness about invisible pain. I have been, unfortunately, in workplaces where people don't understand that I have pain that is not visible, that there are days when I have brain fog that is so intense that I can't do video meetings or I can't just sit down and write a piece. So there is stigma because people, one, do not like talking about pain. They think it's negativity. And two, when it is invisible, they start labeling it as fake, you are cheating, you always have an excuse. So invisible pain is further invisibilized.
The biggest challenge dealing with pain for anybody is to make a peace with it. There's no broken bone or a fracture, a wound, or some accident that you can physically see, but you are in pain. And only because it's invisible, it becomes difficult and people don't understand what exactly you're going through, which is a major challenge. Making your friends and family understand what you're going through, what you're facing, how you're dealing with it. That's the biggest challenge every chronic pain warrior faces.
And this must surely take a toll on your mental health as well, right?
I think pain and mental health are a vicious cycle in the sense that pain affects your mental health really badly. It causes stress. For me, it causes a lot of self-image and self-confidence related issues. It makes me feel like I failed in life because I cannot do as stressful a job as many of my other peers. I cannot go on treks or really adventurous activities which are physically harrowing. So it also makes you feel feelings that you don't want, where you compare yourself to others, or you feel that why is it happening to me? This is so unfair. Why are others living a good life, and so on. But you can come to terms with it. At least I have with therapy. And also mental health affects pain, because in my case, with stress and without rest, I end up having more of the chronic pain. So it's really a very vicious cycle when it comes to pain and mental health, and becomes really hard to break.
Well, actually, it's a mind and body connection. Your whole body is connected with each other. I have faced this scenario where I was harassed and bullied in when I was doing my postgrad in pediatric dentistry, because of which I had to quit after a while, because mentally I could take that much stress and all the harassment and bullying I was facing because of my illness, because they couldn't understand, and I had no emotional support or any physical support coming from there, and it was very challenging. And I thought I can push through it, and I kept pushing, but mentally I could. But my slowly, all that torture and trauma started to affect my body further, and my illness progressed at a faster rate, which might have not happened if I had not to face a scenario like that.
I think the one way to break it is having less discrimination and more accommodation, reasonable accommodations for people with chronic pain. And with that, we can have a better quality of life, and that would definitely help in improving our mental health and break this vicious cycle.
Lastly, living a life in constant pain, how do you cope with it and how do you keep going?
So, some of the important things that help me cope with pain are managing my stress levels for sure. If I have to do very stressful or strenuous activities for some days, I make sure I have some time after that for adequate rest. Another thing is to manage my sleeping cycle and manage my sleep, because even one day of not getting proper sleep leads to bad body pain for me. So for those days, then I have to take rest during the day. Other things are just like exercising regularly, eating healthy, eating nutritious, taking my supplements, taking my medicines, and consulting doctors on time. So these are just some small things which help me manage my pain.
When you're living with pain 24/7 and all other symptoms which come with a neurological condition, it's tough. There are good days, there are bad days, but you have to choose how you take it, how you perceive it, because at the end of the day, it's you who decides how you want to live your life. And I don't want my illness to be my identity. Yeah, there are days when I am living a pain of 6 or 7 out of 10 and I'll be still be active and doing things. There are days when I'm really in a good, healthy scenario and my friends and family would find me hopping and, just enjoying life and being all good about everything. But there are days when things get worse and the pain levels go up high, and I'm living with the pain level which is 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, and my body can't tolerate it anymore because I don't have any medications to deal with it on a daily basis. I can't take them. This is one of the things people should understand.
I wish the people around us were more empathetic and understanding and more open minded towards seeing things beyond what they can really see visibly. I feel that CPI is a safe haven for people with chronic pain at present. The real reason behind starting CPI was not me, but coming across other people who are dealing with chronic pain. And I felt that we need a community here. I started noticing how we have support groups outside, but not in India, and how being a part of a support group can be useful, how just knowing that you're not the only one in pain can just be so relieving. For me, chronic pain India, it's filled with voices of so many pain warriors, and I hope our efforts keep on increasing and we could really make a change in India. We could really bring the support group system and build a strong community which is heard, and this invisibility turns visible with time.